Godzilla fans, this is John LeGrandzilla, and I have another project I finished. All right, next to it I have the Resin Chef Godzilla 66 that was sculpted by Bill Gudmundsson. And to my right I have the one I just finished, which is the Tengetsu Crafts Godzilla 66. I wanted to kind of compare the two, and it's interesting to me how the suits depict different things. Now, my client wanted the color scheme to be pretty dark on this Godzilla, the Tengetsu Crafts. The Resin Chef is considered a 30 centimeter scale, but this Tengetsu Crafts is quite a bit bigger. It is actually 12 3/4 inches tall. I've always thought that 30 centimeters is pretty close to 12 inches tall, but a lot of times it's more like 11, sometimes smaller. And with the postures, sometimes that can make a difference too. But I wanted to just kind of point out an observation I have, which is that like as many kaiju kits are, they depict what I think would be the movie's attempt to suspend our disbelief by making the monster look more real and cool and maybe flawless in some ways, still keeping the character of the that is like a Showa design, which I think Bill Gudmundsson did a great job here. But nice clean lines in it, and not a lot of issues like with the fins. They're pretty perfectly round and everything. Where the Tengetsu Crafts, I think, was really aiming to make a kit of the suit, which was a damaged suit in the 66 movie. It had quite a bit of damage to it from what I understand. And so I think this is more of a kit that depicts the suit itself. It does have, if you look closely, air holes in the neck, like a suit would. And it has a lot of things about it that are just a little rough. The sculpt is just a little rough, which kind of indicates how the suit was possibly, some of the latex maybe was starting to deteriorate, possibly something like that. I might be wrong about this, but that is what I had heard once, that the 66 suit was pretty rough. And so that's kind of what you see in the kit. It's showing, instead of something that's supposed to look like a live animal, it's got a lot of rough spots and things like that. So I just think it's kind of neat to see this comparison of what is supposed to be the same Godzilla, but looks quite a bit different. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. Hope you enjoy the comparison. So I'm back with the Tengetsu Crafts 66 Godzilla, and here it is by itself, so we can kind of do a little review of it. It's got a lot of charm to it. It's a nice big kit. The main part of the body and the biggest part of the tail there were hollow cast, as well as the head. And so the main part of the body and the big part of the tail, I went ahead and drilled holes in them, and I filled them with Durham's water putty. And so now the kit is nice and heavy, but I did that so that the pins, I could drill pins into it and it would have something to hold on to, because it's difficult with the hollow parts. In reviewing a kit, I don't like to be negative, but I want to be honest and just say that it's probably one of the more difficult kits to build, just because of the fact that, and what I understand from people that do casting, and I can't. I've done some small part casting with resin in small molds, but I have no idea how I would be able to do a big kit like this and cast it well. So I'm not a casting expert, but in talking to some people that are, temperature can really make an effect. And it seems like the solid parts did a lot better as far as the casting, but the hollow parts, I think it has a different process. And so that is, it complicates it a bit, but the idea was to make the kit lighter, I think. And also, when kits are cast in Japan when it's hot, sometimes either the resin or the molds, something shrinks up. I think the resin shrinks more, and it can cause kind of issues with that. And so this kit was quite a bit of work to get the parts ready, and there wasn't really any keying except just in the head and neck a little bit, but it was mostly having to pin and do quite a bit of putty work. So I wouldn't recommend this kit to a beginner unless you want a real crash course in model building and run into some challenges. But if you're a person that's built a lot of kits like me, you would maybe expect this sometimes. And so, it kind of comes with the territory, but some of the kits today we get spoiled because they are so pristine. I mean, no bubbles or no holes or anything. This had a lot of bubbles and holes. I'd say within a square inch, I might have had 16 to 20 bubbles sometimes in some parts. And so it was a little frustrating, but I got through it for the most part. But it kind of works along with the idea that I described earlier about this kit being portraying a suit that had a lot of damage to it, possibly. But I like Showa Godzillas for, I like all the Godzillas. Well, maybe not all equally, but they all have something I like about them. Whether it's the Millennium is one of my favorites, and the GMK is one of my favorites, as far as really cool looking Godzillas. And the Showas just have a certain likability and charm to them. And the 66 is one that I like quite a bit. Everybody likes the 64 and the 62, 55, 54 I should say, maybe not 55, it isn't for me. But it's just interesting to see how these kits can show even a damaged suit in a really interesting way and make it kind of a neat collectible. So there you have it. My client wanted a dark color scheme. We did lighten the fins a little bit more than he had originally wanted, but I think it came out looking pretty good. Tried to be pretty true to what he was asking for as best I could. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing this kit, and don't mind my assessment of it as far as what it took to build it. Overall, it's pretty cool. So thanks to my client and all you guys who have done business with me. I appreciate it. All right, till next time, bye.